So you might be able to hear the engine here, but with the windows up and when you're inside and driving, it's actually not bad. We're talking about the Great Wall Steed. It is a value for money car. To give you some idea, this top of the range for the Great Wall is a dual cab ute, a large vehicle, yet its list price is about the same as a mid-size Toyota Corolla, in fact probably a little cheaper. So it says that it is aimed at a very much value for money. Now, it's very easy for us motoring journalists to say, oh no, you should spend $10,000, $20,000 more and buy a Navara, Colorado or any of the others, or perhaps go the whole hog and get the top of the range four-wheel drive bells and whistles Ford Ranger. It's just that that will cost you nearly 3 times the list price of this car. So, what do you get for your dollar? Let's have a look. The exterior design is a big improvement over earlier Chinese designs, almost contemporary and not gangly or cumbersome or even gawky. Then again, none of these vehicles are built to look elegant. A bit of square-edged toughness is quite desirable. It comes with bright colours with trendy names: pure white, sleek silver, titanium, ebony, Arizona and chili, as in the spice, not the temperature. The interior looks pretty good, functional for the basic requirements, with 1 or 2 quality blemishes, but it did feel good to get into. So here we are inside the Great Wall Steed. It has an 8-inch screen, which is not bad. In fact, I think it shows things rather well. My wife found that it had a very good and easy to enter sat nav, which that can be positive. I love the electric seats, but it has just an up and down, but not an in and out. Now, I like to have plenty of room for my legs, but I don't want to be too straight-armed like the old racing drivers. The layout and the ease of using it, I'm quite comfortable with. Some elementary information and buttons on the steering wheel, but overall the cabin inside doesn't use its space as well as some other vehicles. In the two-wheel drive models, you have a choice of 2 engines. There's a 2.4 litre petrol with a modest 100 kilowatts and 205 newton metres of torque, matched to a 5-speed manual. Or you can have a 2 litre turbo diesel engine with a 6-speed manual, 110 kilowatts and 310 newton metres of torque, which is the one we drove. The 4-wheel drive option is only available with the diesel engine and still only a 6-speed manual. There are no automatics. In the manual, the gearing is high. 4th gear is a 1-to-1 ratio, so 5th and 6th are basically overdrives. Around the city, you are basically working with 4 gears. It can go down to about 60 kilometres an hour in 4th, unless you get to a moderate hill, then it's back to 3rd. I had a tinge of memory of driving the old 4-speed Morris Minor. The clutch is light, but in the city you can change a lot, and my left leg got a bit tired. The other limitation is getting enough revs, especially to start. The diesel can chug off the line at very low revs, but with no power. It doesn't get going until it gets to about 1750 or 2000 revs per minute. We tried a standing start on a moderate hill to prove the point. We're on a street here, quiet street. Now what I'll do is I'm just going and I'm starting, and you'll note that it's under 1000 revs. So now I'll flatten it and see what happens. Flattened it, nothing, 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 boom, now it goes. So you have to watch, we're going around a corner here. I might leave it in 2nd gear. Now it's chugging along, now that's flat out. I can't get going. I've got to pick a gear. Again, it doesn't go until it hits 2000 revs. You just have to be careful how you manage the revs, particularly if you're pulling out from a side street with other traffic coming. For all the modest performance, the fuel economy is not class leading. The diesel is rated at a combined figure of 9 litres per 100, which is not great compared to the big sellers in the market. A two-wheel drive Toyota Hilux manual diesel has more power and is rated at 7.2 litres per 100. On average figures, the Great Wall will cost around $350 per year extra on fuel compared to the Toyota. Even a 3.2 litre 5-cylinder Ford Ranger manual four-wheel drive is rated lower at 8.3 litres per 100. I was surprised that the Great Wall was closer to the opposition in the city cycle and further away in the rural environments. I will say that the Great Wall did manage to get close to the rated figure, which doesn't always happen. I averaged 9.4 litres per 100. Now, how is it to drive? Quite comfortable, really, on most urban or motorway roads. The road noise is low and there is not much thumping over reasonable patches and cracks. More substantial dips and poorer road surfaces are felt more strongly, which is typical for this type of vehicle. Off-road, the two-wheel drive benefits from ground clearance and tyres that aren't low profile. The diesel has a very credible payload of 1,022 kilograms, but it's rated to tow only 2 tonnes. The Great Wall Steed only has the standard safety features that have been on cars for years. Front side and curtain airbag, stability program, anti-lock braking and electronic brake force distribution. It does have traction control and hill hold control systems. The two-wheel drive petrol dual cab Steed was crash tested in 2016 and received a disappointing 2 stars. Since then, ANCAP requirements have become even tougher. The biggest selling feature of the Great Wall Steed is the price. They even have some very special deals. At the time of this video, you can get a petrol dual cab for just under $20,000 drive away. That's a lot of sheet metal for your money. Add $3,000 for a diesel and a further $2,000 for four-wheel drive. That means a four-wheel drive diesel dual cab ute is $26,000 drive away. You also add $495 for metallic paint. The Steed is not competing head-on with some of the more familiar and more popular dual cab utes in the market, but there are a few at this lower price end, possibly most particularly the newer T60 LDV, which is a Shanghai-based company. The Great Wall Ute, the Steed. A few years ago they came onto the market, the Great Walls, and they had a bit of trouble with the distribution. But at that time they were very much seen as a workhorse, a cheap vehicle that you could buy and pound around a bit and not be worried too much about it. This middle one now, it has more gloss to it in the colours that you can get, and it looks better in your driveway. Great Wall say that they've now got another model soon to come out that will be another quantum leap. What that means is this one is left sort of in the middle. Is it a workhorse? Yet it looks good enough that you don't want to scratch it. But perhaps for a family, it's good enough to be a low price vehicle that you have some sort of pride in having in your driveway. So, what is this car? It is a value for money vehicle. Nothing less, but nothing more.